Hey guys, welcome back to Small Doses of Insight. True story. The first ever Asian drama that I've ever watched in my life knowing that it was a drama wasn't actually a Korean drama, but Litre of Tears, a 2005 Japanese Fuji TV production. This is both awesome and not so awesome at the same time because I pretty much accidentally spoiled myself with peak JDrama. Alright bros, let's dive into this. It's a tearjerker of a show that'll hit you right in the feels. If you haven't watched it yet, stop what you're doing, grab some tissues, and prepare to have your soul crushed. The show is based on the true story of Ikeuchi Aya, and it's an emotional roller coaster of epic proportions. I'm here to give you a character analysis of Aya, but heads up, there will be spoilers, like big time spoilers, so buckle up. In the show, she's called Ikeuchi Aya. At the start of the drama, Aya is your average high school girl, living life, having fun, and doing all the normal teenager stuff. She's got a bright future ahead of her, good grades, she's great at sports, and just an all-around likable girl. She's close to her family, especially her mom Shioka, who's basically supermom in every way. Aya's got that dream life going on, man. She's living the good life. You can tell she's got ambitions, maybe not something earth-shattering like becoming a superhero or anything, but she's got goals and is working hard to achieve them. But bro, the way this show is set up, you know something bad's gonna happen. Like things are going way too well for her. So here's the thing. Everything changes for Aya when she gets diagnosed with spinocerebellar degeneration. And trust me, this isn't some, oh no, I broke my leg type of thing. This disease is a total life wrecker. Little by little, Aya loses control of her muscles. It starts with her tripping over things, stumbling here and there, but we as the audience know something's not right. It's frustrating to watch because you just want her to shake it off, get back to that vibrant, full of life person, but the truth is, her life is about to go through the ringer. From this point on, we see a huge shift in Aya's character. She goes from this energetic, hopeful kid to someone who's fighting against her own body. The disease doesn't hit her all at once. It's this slow, brutal, drawn-out process that makes it even harder to watch. You see Aya struggling to keep up with her friends at school, trying to maintain her independence while realizing that it's slipping through her fingers. And that's where Aya starts to shine, man. I mean, a lot of people in her position would just give up, but not Aya. Nah, she's a fighter, bro. Here's the deal. Aya doesn't just accept her diagnosis and let it define her. She takes it head on. You see her trying to stay positive even when it's clear that things are only going to get worse. Aya's strength both physically and mentally is unreal. She knows the cards she's been dealt, but she doesn't throw in the towel. Instead, she pushes herself to keep going to school, keep learning, and keep interacting with her friends even though her body is betraying her. She's like a freaking warrior, man. Most people would have cracked under that pressure, but Aya keeps fighting. Sure, she has moments where she breaks down, and who wouldn't? But those moments don't define her. What defines her is her unshakable spirit. Every time she falls, literally and figuratively, she gets back up. One scene that really hits you is when Aya starts using a wheelchair. It's this big shift because it marks the moment when her independence is visibly slipping away. But does she mope about it? Not Aya. She keeps trying to live as normal of a life as possible, even as everything around her becomes more challenging. And that's what makes her so damn inspiring. Alright, now let's talk about the people around Aya because her relationships play a huge part in her journey. First up, her family. Her mom, Shioka, is a freaking hero in her own right. She's constantly there for Aya, supporting her through the hardest of times. If you think about it, Shioka is kind of like the rock of the family. Aya leans on her, and you can tell that a lot of Aya's strength comes from her mom's unwavering love and support. Aya's relationship with her dad, Mizuo, is a little bit more complicated. He's there for her, but he struggles to deal with what's happening. And honestly, who wouldn't? Watching your child go through something like that is heartbreaking, and Mizuo doesn't always know how to handle it. But even though he struggles, he's still there for Aya when she needs him. You can tell he's hurting, but at the end of the day, he's her dad and he loves her. Aya's siblings also have a big part to play. They each deal with Aya's illness in their own way, but you can see how much they care for her. They try to keep things light, sometimes cracking jokes or messing around, but it's clear that they're just trying to keep some sense of normalcy as their sister's life becomes anything but normal. Aya's family is super close and they're a huge source of strength for her as she battles this disease. Now let's talk about Haruto Aso, Aya's classmate and love interest. At first, he's distant, kind of a loner, but as he gets to know Aya, he becomes one of her biggest supporters. Haruto isn't just some side character either. He becomes Aya's emotional rock outside of her family. There's this unspoken bond between them that's super powerful. Haruto sees Aya for who she really is, not just as someone with a disease. He's there for her, especially when her friends start drifting away because they don't know how to deal with her illness. Their relationship is tragic though, because there's this always looming reality that Aya's condition will keep getting worse. You can feel the tension because you know they can't have the future they might have wanted, but Haruto sticks by her. He doesn't abandon her when things get tough. He's there until the end, showing that Aya isn't alone in her fight. Let's get real for a second. Aya's journey is brutal. There's no sugarcoating it. Watching her deal with the slow loss of her abilities is straight up heartbreaking. But what's even more devastating is watching Aya struggle with her sense of identity. She's a smart, capable girl, but suddenly she can't do the things she used to. She can't write, can't play sports, can't even walk around without help after a certain point. There's a scene where she's trying to write in her diary, which is super important to her, and she can barely hold the pen. It's one of those moments where you just feel the weight of everything crashing down on her. Even in those moments of frustration and despair, Aya keeps going. She starts using a glass sheet with Japanese letters when she can't write anymore. She doesn't let the disease silence her. But man, it's rough. You see how much it hurts her to lose those little pieces of herself. There's this inner battle going on where Aya's trying to hang on to who she is, even as the disease takes more and more away from her. One of the most powerful things about Aya's character is how she eventually finds peace with her situation. That doesn't mean she just accepts it and gives up. Far from it. But she finds a way to live with the disease without letting it define her. Aya doesn't wallow in self-pity, even though she has every right to. Instead, she looks for meaning in what's happening to her. Aya's diary becomes a huge part of this. She starts writing about her experience, not just as a way to cope, but as a way to inspire others. She realizes that even though she's going through something incredibly painful, her story can help others who are struggling. It's like she finds a purpose in her suffering, and that's something not everyone can do. Aya's willingness to share her story with the world through her writing, through the people around her, is what makes her a true hero. In the end, Aya becomes a symbol of hope and resilience. Even though her life is cut short, she leaves behind this legacy of strength and courage that continues to inspire people long after she's gone. Now let's talk about Aya's legacy, because that's a huge part of her character. Yeah, Aya's story is tragic, no doubt. But it's not just about the sadness or the loss, it's about the way she lived her life in the face of that tragedy. Aya never let her disease define who she was. She found strength in her weakness, hope in her suffering, and meaning in her struggle. Her diary, which the show is based on, became a huge source of inspiration for people all over Japan and beyond. Her words gave hope to people who are dealing with their own challenges, showing them that even in the darkest of times, there's still a reason to keep fighting. And that, my dudes, is why Aya is one of the most powerful characters in any drama ever. She's more than just a girl who got sick. She's a symbol of resilience, of never giving up, and of finding purpose even when the world throws the worst at you. First off, let's acknowledge the obvious. This show is heavy. Like, we're not just talking about a sad moment here or there. From the get-go, you know this story is gonna be a slow, emotional wrecking ball that leaves you feeling like you've just been through the ringer. But it's not just the sadness that hits you, it's the realness. Aya's life takes a massive turn and you're sitting there thinking, damn, this can happen to anyone. That's what makes it sink in deep. It's relatable, but in the way you don't want to relate to, if that makes sense. Aya's character is wild in the sense that she's not some superhero with unbeatable powers. She's just a normal girl who's forced to deal with something none of us ever want to think about. That's part of what makes her strength so impressive. It's grounded in reality. She's not out there lifting cars or making some epic movie comeback after a fall. She's just grinding it through day by day, trying to stay positive while dealing with her body shutting down on her. If you step back for a second, it's clear why her story is such a gut punch. Aya's struggle with spinocerebellar degeneration doesn't just affect her. It ripples out to everyone around her, including her family and friends. Everyone is impacted, and that's how life works. When you go through something tough, It's not just you that's affected. That's a key takeaway from the whole series, how interconnected we all are and how we lean on each other to make it through. And while Aya's situation is super extreme, it makes you think about how you deal with challenges in your own life. Like, sure, we're probably not dealing with a terminal illness, but everyone's got struggles. Watching Aya push through even when it's clear she's up against impossible odds kind of makes you step back and think about how you're handling your own battles. Maybe that annoying work project or the fight with your friend doesn't seem so massive in comparison, you know? On a broader level, it's also about the idea that life doesn't always go according to plan. Aya had dreams, man. She wanted to play sports, go to school, live her life. And then life hits her with something she never saw coming. That's a reality check. No one's guaranteed a smooth ride, and this show throws that fact in your face. You've got to roll with the punches even if they hurt. It's about how you respond when life goes sideways, not just when things are going well. Another thing that stands out is how Aya's story isn't just about her personal journey. It's about leaving something behind. Her diary, her words, they weren't just meant for her. They became a source of inspiration for so many people, and that's something to think about, bro. Like, what are you leaving behind? How are you impacting the people around you? Aya's legacy is one of resilience and hope, and that's huge. Makes you want to rethink how you're showing up in your own life, even if it's not in the same epic way. Overall, bro, One Litre of Tears makes you reflect on your own strengths, your relationships, and how you handle the rough stuff. Life throws curveballs, and Aya's story reminds us that even though things might get insanely hard, there's always something worth fighting for. It's about how you face those challenges and keep pushing forward, even when everything seems stacked against you. So yeah, watching this is a rough ride, but it's also motivating in a weird way. It shows that even when life's unfair, you can still find meaning in the struggle, and that's something we can all take away, no matter what we're dealing with. Thanks everyone for watching this video. If you enjoyed what you saw, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more content like this. Also be sure to check out my other videos for more insight on other dramas and shows as well. Your support means a lot to me and it helps me grow this channel. If you have any thoughts, questions, or suggestions for future videos, please drop them in the comments down below. Again, thank you for watching this video and I'll see you next time.